Live with CDP Sports Talk, a weekly sports and entertainment podcast sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet. Live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn. And on audio via Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, Anchor FM, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Radio Public, and TuneIn. Now, here's your host, Chris Palme.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Season 12, Episode 28, overall 633 of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, brought to you by Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership, located at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Auto Mall. Check out their website, barrycullen.com, for the newest selection of new and pre-owned GM vehicles, along with their great selection of all-electric vehicles and Cadillac vehicles as well. You can call the dealership at 519-824-0210. Tell them Chris Palme sent you, or you can email them at info@barrycullen.com. Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership has been family run and operated here in the city of Guelph since 1969. I hope everyone's doing well on this chilly Friday, December 12th, 2025 here in Southern Ontario. And I'm looking forward to my guest tonight. This is her first appearance. We met through TikTok, and her name is Kelly Drew. She is from Simply Feel Well Nutrition Coaching. She's a registered nurse, a certified nutritional practitioner, and certified health mindset coach. And we're going to talk a little bit about nutrition, exercise, and mindset, and that's something we can all relate to, including yours truly. And we're going to bring on a Kelly Drew right now after this applause. Good evening, Kelly. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me, Chris.
Thank you so much for coming on here. How are things in your neck of the woods in Ontario?
It's cold, and I know we should all be used to it by now, but honestly, I'm not meant for this.
I got to ask you this. What's your favorite season of the year?
Oh, summer.
Summer?
Hands down. Yes.
Mine used to be summer, but I find they are getting too hot and humid here in Ontario. So I kind of like fall and winter, to be honest with you now.
I feel like there's a lot of people out there that like the fall, but you know what? For me, the hotter the better. I just love it.
I'm going the opposite. The colder, the better. So, are you getting ready for the holiday season, by the way, which is coming up in a couple weeks?
I am. You know what? We are pretty low key. You know, my parents are in Florida now. My sister's out east. So like things have really quieted down. So I'm a nurse, so I usually choose to work Christmas now that the kids are grown up and that. So and let everybody else have their Christmas and yeah. So it's pretty low key.
And one thing about the holiday season and Christmas as well, it can be a happy time for some people, a depressed time, sad time, and also eating too. There's a lot of foods, so it's kind of hard to go on a diet during the holiday season as well.
Well, you're absolutely right. And really, I think if there was one takeaway or one piece of advice that I could give is don't. I mean, you don't need to, it's not your ticket to, go crazy kind of thing. But you know what? It's not the time of year. I mean, depending on what your goals are and what's happening in your life, it's not really the time of year to restrict. You'll probably find yourself, overdoing it or swinging the other way if you tend to do that, knowing there's parties coming up and all that kind of stuff. So, you know what? Take it easy. Give yourself a bit of grace. And have some fun.
I'm guilty of it. I've tried to restrict myself in the past, and I ended up eating more than I normally would. So it doesn't always work restricting yourself.
No, you're not alone. In fact, it never does.
Kelly, I'm based in Guelph, Ontario, but the show is international. Can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure, yeah. So I'm from Burlington, Ontario. I'm a nurse. I've been a nurse for 20 years. I've always loved fitness. So I've always been involved in it in one way, shape, or form. It was only probably about maybe 10 or 15 years ago that I actually started getting interested in food and how it actually everything related to fitness and nutrition. Like it's strange to me to think that I'd never put the two and two together, right? Um, but as time's gone on and the more information I find, I mean, I'm also one of those people who just like when I want to know something, I got to know all of it. So I really take like a deep dive into that rabbit hole. Um, so yeah, so the nutrition, I actually got my personal training certification a few years ago, but I don't really do anything with that in anymore. It was funny on the very last day of class, the teacher said, don't confuse your love of fitness for wanting to teach it. And I was like, oh man, that's what I did. So I don't love teaching it at all. And yeah, anyway, so, but the nutrition part of things, gosh, I just love it. I mean, I could keep going, but yeah, I could. Um, go ahead.
I just had a professional athlete on my show yesterday, a lacrosse player, and I said everybody, the fans, see what you do on the field or the court as a professional athlete, but they don't see how much work is involved in being a professional athlete with nutrition and fitness and behind the scenes stuff as well. And I'm going to be honest too. I find myself, I've lately taken better care of my vehicle than my own body. And the thing is, you don't take care of your vehicles, they're going to break down on you at some point and cost you more money. And I think myself and a lot of people should be looking at that with the bodies too. If you neglect your body, eventually it's going to break down on you at some point too, just like a vehicle.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think that kind of goes to show like what usually happens or what a lot of people find is that, when they're younger, I don't know if you have found this. I don't know if weight has been a problem for anybody else in the past, but when you're younger, you kind of maybe restrict your food or, do a little exercise and everything bounces back like fast, right? And then the older you get, you hear about that, like it doesn't matter whether you're a woman in, menopause or anything like that. But as we get older, we do all the same things, but it doesn't work the same as it used to. So that's exactly the same thing as your car. Like there comes a time where, you just keep putting band-aids on things and it keeps like your body keeps going, okay, all right, I got this. All right, I'll bounce back. I'll bounce back. But now, when we get a little bit older in life, it's like, you know what? I'm tired. I've had enough of this. Like I'm not going to bounce back like I used to. And then that's when sickness, etc., can come into it, unfortunately.
One thing I've been told as well, I am seeing a nutritionist right now every 2 months. Listen to your body. When your body is tired, go to sleep. A lot of times I fight it off and keep working, and then I can't sleep later on. Or if your stomach is full, don't eat any more food. Just that's it's like listening to your vehicle. You need to listen to your body. And I'm kind of self-aware of what I need to do but it's not always easy. It starts in the mindset too.
No, you're absolutely right. And you're lucky that you can that you can listen to your body because a lot of people can't. And it's not that they can't, but they're not used to it. So they can't hear what it's saying or they can't feel what it's saying. They don't make the connections. So, and that's actually quite interesting for me, as a nurse. I always related it to this when I was at work. I would be that person who's like, I needed to know when my break was. I was hangry. Like, I was just, and I just thought, like, that's just me. But it actually isn't. It's the food that I was eating, the types of food, that kind of thing, that if you balance your food properly, that stuff doesn't happen. And so it's all about making connections, right?
Also, too, I wanted to get your thoughts, Kelly. I know I've taken a cooking course now. I do it once
Mm.
a month here. I find being in media, I work a lot of odd hours, late hours, and sometimes don't feel like cooking, so I end up eating out a lot. That also too can affect your health and weight too, because when you cook your own food, you can control what's in the ingredients. But when you're eating out fast food or whatever, you don't know how much stuff is put into the food. So I just wanted to get your thoughts on that too. As a society, do you find we eat out way too much and we should be kind of cooking a little more at home?
Well, sure. I mean, of course. Like the food that we're eating, takeout generally, obviously it isn't great for us. It's heavy on the fat, heavy on the carbs, not great on the protein, and not great on like the vegetables and that kind of thing, right? Everything is over processed. Everything is, like as cheap as possible. So the cheaper it is, probably it's not very good for us, right? So, and convenience, right? Everybody wants convenience right now. So, I mean, hesitate to say this. I mean, I've been sort of doing this for a long time. So, all of my food, I cook everything. Like once a week, I allow myself and I eat out whatever for a meal. But the rest of the week, I have everything in my fridge, all, portioned out. Now, I'm not saying that you go from nothing to that, because you can't do that. And if you try to do that, it won't work in your favor. But like I said, I've been working at this for a long time. So I don't have to think about it. And if I'm working long hours, I don't have to think about it. I don't have to come home and think, oh, I'm starving. Like, I don't really want to make my food. I just want to eat something right now. I can, because it's already in the fridge and it's already prepared. So I just need to take it out and warm it up, and that's it. Done.
I know with myself right now, working with nutritionists, I do have a food chart. So I keep a track of what I eat and put in my body every day. And also, I have a fruit and veggies chart as well as a sleep chart as well. So to see how I'm doing daily.
I love that, because you know what? At the end of the day, awareness is everything. And there's a lot of people out there who, you know what, they're not ready to change yet. And that's okay, because everybody changes at their own pace, right? So if you're not ready to change, and maybe you are, maybe this is like a big thing, so I'm not saying that you're not ready to change, not at all, but if you have, like, awareness is key. So if you're just tracking and charting and just sort of like laying everything out that you can look back on it, that's an amazing, early step.
Well, what was it? October 2017. My other doctor before he retired told me I was heading for diabetes. And I wanted to avoid diabetes because it runs in my family. And I ended up giving up chocolate, ice cream, cake, muffins, bagels, cream cheese. So I haven't had chocolate or any of that stuff in over 8 years. I gave up pop 15 years ago as well. The biggest two issues in weight battles, in my opinion, is sugar and salt. And I've given up frozen foods too, because a lot of these frozen dinners are kegged with sodium, just like canned soup as well. So if I have soup, I stick to homemade soup only. But it's a lot of it starts with sugar and salt content, in my opinion.
Yeah, and you're mostly right, especially how you described it there. So sugar, yeah, nobody actually needs sugar. Sugar does nothing for our body except for pleasure. So, obviously easier said than done, but when we're talking about what your body actually needs, you never need sugar. So, like, it doesn't do your body any good. Salt, on the other hand, so in the way you're describing, absolutely right. If you're eating a lot of processed foods, you absolutely don't need any more salt. But if you are craving salt and you are eating a mostly whole foods diet, meaning you're cooking everything from scratch or mostly from scratch, you probably aren't getting enough salt. And you could add to your diet that way. But, it's whole foods versus the processed foods. There's a very big difference there.
couple weeks ago in my cooking class, I actually made a lentil soup and it
Mm.
had tofu in it. And I'm like, I told the instructors, I said, oh my God, I tried tofu back in the 80s and I got sick from it. I couldn't eat it. But they told me, Chris, try it with the soup. If it's blended in with something like soup or other foods, you won't even notice it. And they were actually right. So I'm trying to keep my open mind to trying new things. And tofu, if you use it the right way, is not a bad tool.
I love it. Okay, so just a quick test for you. In that meal that you just described, where was your protein?
The protein, there was, they did put protein in the soup. Um, I know they used kale. I don't know how much
Okay.
protein's in kale. They used kale, and there was some other. I'm gonna look that up again, but it was a lentil type soup with tofu in it. But there was protein because a lot of the recipes we do make do have protein in it.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's actually jam packed with protein. So your lentils has a
Yes,
lot of protein, and your tofu, that's pretty much all it has is protein. So that's awesome.
protein and fiber too. You have to have so much.
You do. Yeah, absolutely. And fiber is, if you're ever wondering, like, where do I get my fiber from? Think plants.
And
Any
I
plant.
and I got to get back to drinking protein shakes. They have them at Costco. Premium protein. They're not cheap. They're very expensive. But if you don't want to have a meal or a dinner, they can substitute for that as well.
Yep, they can. You just got to watch the sugar content on those. Yep.
One thing I wanted to ask you about is, thankfully, I've never had those high energy drinks. There's nothing good about them, and I know a couple years ago I had to give up ice caps because when I was working night shifts, as a nurse, you know about working night shifts. I was drinking a lot of French vanillas, ice caps, and the one day my ticker was speeding up, and I was like, went to my doctor's, and he basically asked me some questions. I said, "Yeah, I drink 2 ice caps a day, and I have a French vanilla," and he's like, "Give it up." And I said, okay. And I gave it up 10 years ago and my ticker hasn't speed up. I guess the more caffeine you have, it can affect your heart too.
Absolutely, it can. No, there's nothing good about energy drinks. And you know what? Everyone needs to start where they're at. And I really hesitate to tell anybody, no, that's a good food, a bad food, like whatever. But yeah, those high energy drinks, no good.
Thankfully, I never got into those, but the French vanilla and the ice caps, I haven't had in 10 years and I don't want to go back into it. I know some people can have the odd one and that's it. For me, I have an issue with ice caps and French vanilla because they're addicting. Sugar is very addicting.
Absolutely correct.
Now, Kelly, where did you attend school and when did you develop an interest in the medical profession as a nurse?
All right. So I went to school in Barrie, Ontario. So Georgian College, and this was, I graduated nursing before it was a university program, so it was a diploma program. That was many years ago, but anyways. So this is not going to be a story of, of the traditional sense of how I got into, or how anyone gets into nursing. Usually you find somebody who maybe they're sick in their family, or, they took care of somebody and they want to give back, like that kind of thing, right? No, I never had an interest in nursing or anything medical at all. I actually dropped out of high school. And I was living at home with my parents, and they were less than happy about this, as you can imagine. And so I worked in like retail and fast food, that kind of thing, for probably about a year or so. And then my mom was like, okay, enough. And back in the day where you had the college calendars of all the different courses that were in there, she's like, okay, there you go, nursing. Yep, that's what you should take. And I was like, okay. And honestly, like, I'm just so thankful that I did, because you know what, I love the medical field, and I just you can do so much with nursing. And I think it's really helped me understand the nutrition part of things. You'd think in that environment I would have learned more about nutrition, but I'll tell you, we learned zero about nutrition in the medical, in nursing.
Wow. By the way, in my family, I have three cousins that are nurses.
Okay.
Two in London, Ontario, and one in Michigan, who's now retired. So
Okay.
nursing has been a big part of my family's background.
It has been, it's like no one in my family, no one was in the medical field. So it was really out in left field.
Kelly, you've been in the nursing profession for now 20 years. How much has it changed? In some cases for the better, but in some cases maybe not for the better, from your experiences?
Gosh, yeah, that's a tough question. You know what? It's really hard to talk about the nursing profession and how, or even the medical, on how it has grown and it is, getting better, etc. Because the more I learned about nutrition, the more I learned about preventative, and the medical system is really, there's really not much prevention happening there. Um, I do like to think that I marry the two quite well together, because you can go quite extreme with either one of those professions, and I think I marry them quite nicely. I mean, obviously technology and that kind of thing, we've come a long way with medicine. But I just think we are so far from where we could be. And even nutritionists, like, they're not, in the eyes of the medical system, they're not quite treated with the respect I think that they should have, or they could have. Like, I think the two can work really well together. It doesn't have to be an either or.
Why would that be? And also, I wanted to ask you, Kelly, besides the why question, do you see AI having an impact on the medical profession in the nursing industry in the next 5 years or 10 years or even now?
Probably. I have to tell you, like, so for most of my career, I worked in the emergency department, and now I've sort of graduated is the wrong word, migrated over to more of a desk kind of background. So I'm not really involved a lot hands on in the hospital. I still work in a hospital, but it's more in the background. So I'm sure AI will be, there somewhere, but I just don't know. I'm not sure. I don't have a good answer for you there. And I'm sorry, you had another question. It was why something. I don't remember now.
But why nutritioning doesn't seem to get that important, because really it really does affect your health. If you have good nutrition, that can help reduce medical issues in most cases. And if you have bad nutrition, you're going to end up eventually having to go to see a doctor or end up going to a hospital.
Yeah, I hear you. And I mean, it makes total sense, but for some reason, well, and I don't know if there's any one particular reason, but like I said before, there are extremes, right? So you do hear like extremes about, nutritionists. This is really extreme, but it's common, like that, vitamin C can cure cancer. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a little, I don't think that's like right. But like, so I think those kinds of views get highlighted. So I think nutritionists kind of get um, that title of, oh, they might be a little off. So that's why I say that I kind of marry the two, medical system and the nutritionist. Like, I'm right kind of in the middle. I understand both sides and give credit to both sides, right? Food can go so far, and it can really do a lot for you. It's your foundation, right? So I don't know. I just don't think there's not a lot of education in for medical professionals, whether that's physicians, nurses, anything. Like, they really get no information, no education on it. So
Do you feel the nursing industry in Canada is shrinking in terms of numbers? And how do we get those numbers back up in the nursing profession?
I think it is. I mean, whether it's shrinking or whether it's actually shrinking, like the knowledge level of the nurses coming in. Just having this conversation the other day, actually, it's kind of sad because I do blame it a little bit on COVID, where we had you always have a mix of older and younger nurses, and you need those younger nurses to come in, but you also need those older nurses to mentor them and to work alongside them and to teach them, because you only get to know so much in school, right? So like really you're learning on the job. But when COVID happened, so many older nurses, well, so many nurses period, left. So that we have this influx of new nurses, and there's nobody to teach them. So I don't know. It's not a great scenario out there right now. I mean, I do have some hope for it, but it's not looking great right now.
What are some reasons why the shrinkage is happening? And is it because it's long hours and it's shift work, and it's really not an easy profession to be in?
It really isn't an easy profession at all. I mean, it is fantastic and it is great, but it's not. It's definitely not easy. The nurses that, I mean, they're getting their degrees now because they have to. And I'm finding that a lot of nurses are really, they have the idea that they're going to go into management right from the beginning. When I was starting, it was more like, okay, you worked your way up to that and thought, oh, okay, well, maybe I might want to do management and I'll give that a try, or maybe not. But now it's like so many of them are just like, nope, I want to go right to the management. So yeah, and I don't know. I mean, it could be the long hours. I mean, night shifts are terrible for you. Yeah.
Yes, I don't miss working them. They're hard. 8 hours, 12 hours, or even 16-hour shifts too. And it's not easy working those shifts. Wanted to ask you this too. I was born in the 70s, and obviously nursing, doctors had to be male, nurses had to be female. Do you find there are more male nurses then, or is it still a female-dominated industry for nursing?
Yeah, it's a good question. So it's definitely still female dominated. But absolutely, there are lots of men out there. I mean, my husband's a nurse. So, yeah, but there's probably like a half a dozen, oh, maybe not, half a dozen or so in the Emerge that I used to work at. So, I mean, yeah, it's still female dominated for whatever reason.
Without getting into politics, what are your feelings on our current healthcare, OHIP, in Ontario? Because it just seems like if somebody actually needs to go to the ER nowadays, it can be hours or even a day to get in with the shortage. There seems to be a doctor shortage in Ontario, and I guess specifically Canada as well.
That's a loaded question. I don't know that you want me answering that. Well, so in the emergency department, okay, so yes, you're right. So a doctor shortage, not there, but for family doctors. Family doctors, in my experience, having worked in an emergency, so, my view is a bit skewed, I think. But the family doctors are doing less and less and less. So, and then the people are coming in because they want their problems solved right now, today. So, and yes, it might take hours to do that, but we're dealing with a situation that maybe these people have had for weeks or months, like not emergency situations, but they just want the things dealt with right now. So I would say like a large majority of the people that come into the emergency department are those types of people. It's actually pretty small that come in with actual emergencies. So,
Do you see this changing at any time soon in the future? No.
I don't. I think there are lots of things that could change about the system, but for many different reasons, it doesn't. And, money is probably the foundation of all of it. And yeah, without getting into politics and all that kind of stuff, I don't see it changing.
Do you find specifically after or during the pandemic and after the pandemic, there are more cases of mental health issues coming into the hospitals, substance abuse as well?
Yes, for sure. I would say, yeah, lots of mental health stuff. I don't know if it's related to the pandemic or not. It might be. But I think all in all, our mindset about mental health and accepting it a little bit more, I think things are kind of, we're seeing it a lot more because more people are coming out and talking about it a little bit more readily. Yeah, I'm sorry. What was the other part of your question?
Just with mental health issues and also substance abuse too. With a lot of people now losing their jobs, the high cost of living going on, a lot more stress is going on.
Yeah, so definitely, as you said, related to the pandemic, we definitely saw an influx of substance abuse after that, during and after that. Yes, definitely.
And by the way, I did have a family member who passed away a few years ago. He was a paramedic, a frontline paramedic for over 30 years as well. And I wanted to ask you this too. Do you, in your opinion, as a nurse and being in the medical profession, do you find more and more first liners, first responders are having PTSD?
Yeah, oh, definitely. I mean, yeah, absolutely. The things like I'm not going to say, well, I guess, emergency workers are first responders, but the ones that are, we don't see half of the people or half of the things that the paramedics do on the scenes. Like, it's huge. Like, I feel like I often thought my son before would be a good paramedic, but then I think about all the things that they see, and man, like, that's some pretty significant PTSD. And if you don't get it, I think you're pretty lucky.
Have you experienced or have you seen other nurses and doctors experience burnout?
We live it every day. We've all had it. We all live, like, yes. Yeah.
What are some tips or keys to having a good work-life balance being in the medical profession these days?
You know what? I think it would probably be not even, it would be the same thing that I would tell everybody else, right? Because stress is stress is stress. It doesn't matter who you are or what work you do. Stress, it takes a real, toll on your body. So get your sleep. Eat your food, like, as well nourished as you can. Your fruits, your veggies, your protein. Do all the things, and you will be better. Better manage your stress. Everything is tied together.
Kelly, for people that are watching this show live stream or on our audio platforms, and there's somebody out there, a male, female, they're looking to get into the medical profession or even the nursing profession, what advice would you give to those people from your experiences?
I think, that's a really hard one, because it's a really difficult profession, but it can be really, you can do so much with it. And I think I would do, if I had the opportunity to do it over again, I would. So I think, you know what, find a mentor. I think that's the biggest thing, is find, it's what I always sort of told my students as well when I had them, is that when you're on shift and you're, let's say, working by yourself, assess who you're working with and who supports you and who you know that you're going to get good advice from. And remember that person and go to that person for that advice and for that support. There's hopefully will be one, at least one, always on your shift.
How satisfying is it a nurse seeing people recover and go home and being able to help them and help families?
Yeah, I mean, of course, that's satisfying. In the emergency department, yeah, I mean, I guess we do see people that go home, obviously. but the majority of the really sick ones that, go on to, like ICUs and inpatient hospitals, we don't always see those ones go home. But I mean, I did work for a while in the ICU, for a few years. And that was very satisfying seeing them come back. They would often come back. And, they would say, hey, look at me now, I'm walking, whereas they couldn't before, or whatever. So no, it
Seeing
is
their progress.
satisfying.
Seeing their progress. Now, on the opposite side, when some people don't make it, how emotional can that be for a doctor and nurse?
Yeah, no, it really depends on the situation. And I hate to say that because, it is the circle and the cycle of life, right? We get older, we get sick, and, unfortunately we die. But there have been more traumatic, circumstances. And I think for some nurses, and well, really anybody, if you have something, similar in your life, or, maybe that patient was the same age as your dad, or, something like that. Or, of course, if it involved a child, well, those ones are never, like normal, cycle of life kind of thing, just kids shouldn't die. So, yeah, that can be pretty tough for sure. I think we've all gone through something, and everything hits everybody differently, right?
Yourself.
Uh-oh, I'm freezing.
Wi-Fi issues, so hopefully we get Kelly back on. Technology. Kelly, are you there? Okay, just 1 second. Hopefully we get Kelly back on. Everybody, Kelly's just
There we go.
okay, sorry about that. Technology doesn't always go smoothly.
It's probably mine, so I rectified it, so we should be good.
So, I was just going to get you one word to describe yourself as a nurse.
No nonsense.
Now, I want to get to some questions about your coaching career. Kelly, when did you decide to start up your own business, Simply Feel Well Nutrition Coaching, and helping women 40 plus? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So I graduated from nutrition school, and I thought, okay, like I'm going to do this as, like a side biz kind of thing, and it should be easy, right? Not so much. So, I first started out and I was just like, okay, I'm assessing these people and their nutrition, what they're missing in their nutrition. And, blood sugar is really like, one of the things that I do really well and that I'm really passionate about. Like, doesn't matter if you're diabetic or not, like it's so important for everything. And it can fix like so many things, right, that you would never think about. So I sort of thought, like, okay, I have all these answers for these people, and then I was giving it to them, and then but nobody was taking my advice, or they'd take it for 5 minutes, and then they'd like sort of go back to what they were doing before. And it was just like, man, like I don't understand. I was so passionate about this. I'm like, I can't be more passionate about your health. Like you have to own some of that, right? So it got me really thinking about, the mindset part of things, which ultimately got me into that certification. And then now I'm just marrying that certification along with, the blood sugar balance and the coaching, and how people can get to their goals. And no matter how small your goals are or how big they are, like you can get to them.
What's the process like being certified?
Yeah, so I'm actually just finishing the certification. So I'm just entering my final assignment shortly. So it's about 13 weeks long. You have to have, tests and modules, and, it's so fascinating to me, how the mind operates. And we talk about, self-sabotage and setting goals, and, just being aware of things, fixed and growth mindset. People that say, like, I'm just, I'm not that kind of person. Like you say, go to the gym 5 days a week and you'll lose weight. I'm not that kind of a person. Well, that is your mindset talking. It doesn't mean that you need to go to the gym next week and go 5 days a week from here on in, but there are steps that you can take to get there if that's what you choose to do.
Now, as a coach, are your sessions or are they all virtually, or do you do some in person as well, a mixture?
Yeah, I do mostly virtually. And yeah, we talk every week, usually. So I communicate with my clients at least once a week. It may be more than that in the beginning. So at least once a week. So I'm in their ear all the time, right? So I'm top of mind so that they know, and we're making goals together. And really, like, I'm your GPS, but you're driving the car. So it doesn't matter, like, if I meal prep all my meals in the fridge, that may not be what you even want to do, and that's okay. It's not for me to figure out, what's best, what I think is best for you. It's you figure out what's best for you, and then we kind of tease that a little bit and talk about it and see if your mind can open up to other things. And maybe if you're putting up blocks or your mindset, we go into that and really see things a little bit differently.
Kelly, can you tell our audience a little bit about the services you provide as a certified nutritional practitioner and a certified health mindset coach? And on average, how long is one of your sessions virtually?
Right. So I do 4-month sessions. So because this is mindset, it's not like in nutrition and all that. It's not like we're going to sit down for 1 hour and solve all your life's problems. Like that's just not how it works, right? So you sign up for 4 months at a time, or we can do 6 months or longer, but usually initially people want to try it out, right? So you sign up for that. I get lots of information from you. I talk about your goals, etc. We come together. We talk about what's important to you and what you want to do going forward. Then we set small goals every week, and then you get better and better and better. And sometimes you go up like this a little bit, and sometimes you do big jumps. But it really all depends on what you want to do. I also am a metabolic balance coach, and that is a meal plan that is based off of your blood work, which is kind of cool. So you get your blood work done, and based on all those factors, it comes up with a nutrition plan for you. So whatever your body is deficient in, and so that it realigns your metabolism basically in a shorter period of time. And it also balances your blood sugar. And this is one of the things why I got so passionate about blood sugar, is that when as a coach, I had to do the diet myself. And when I did it, I didn't realize I didn't feel good before. Like, I felt so fantastic that it's the foundation of everything that I do now is blood sugar balance, which is what the metabolic balance is all about. So
Kelly, I have a viewer watching on Instagram Live. He's been a guest of mine. He's a friend of the show. His name's Edward Hearn. He was in the U.S. military for 20 years, but now he is a professional motorcycle racer in California. His question for you, Kelly, is what is the best things to eat before a motorcycle road race to prevent cramps and fatigue?
oh, nice. Okay. So motorcycle road race. So I'm just trying to figure out what that would actually mean. So I'm going to assume that he's exerting some energy.
Yes.
So he's going to want to have, like a few hours before, make sure his body is fueled really well with, with protein and fat and carbs. But right before the race, I would say carbs. That's really what's going to fuel him in the short term. And as far as cramps go, like, I'm not sure which kind of cramps, but I wonder if this is like a magnesium thing, because it's so common. Most of us are deficient in magnesium. I would actually throw a magnesium supplement. Anybody who, not anybody, but most people should be on a magnesium supplement. He could try that, like, sort of ongoing, or try it for a week or so, even just before bed, and that could help.
Thank you, Kelly. And if you're still good for time, I was going to play one of your videos from your YouTube channel. How can people subscribe to your YouTube channel? Since we'll give it a little plug here.
Sure. Yeah. So it is. I have to write these things down. Kelly Drew at Simply Feel Well on
And
YouTube.
and I've already hit subscribe, by the way. So
Yeah,
we're
thank
going to
you.
play the little video clip right now. I am the audio guy too. So if you can't hear the audio, we'll fire the audio guy, which is myself. So just bear with me 1 second. And this clip is, it's just a video about you can't afford coaching. It's on your YouTube channel. And I thought it was a really good clip.
You'll spend $100 on supplements, $300 on a gym membership, but say you can't afford coaching? Let's talk about that logic for a second. You'll spend money on meal plans, shakes, gym memberships, or fitness challenges. All good things. But here's the truth. None of those fix the root of the problem. Your mindset, habits, and follow through. Because if you don't change your thinking, you'll keep repeating the same cycle. Motivated, strict, burnt out, start over. Nutrition and mindset coaching is what bridges the gap between knowing what to do and actually doing it consistently. It's not an expense, it's a strategy. When you invest in coaching, you're paying to stop the cycle and get clarity, and to finally make all those other things work together. I'm a registered nurse, certified nutritionist, and a health mindset coach. And I help women 40 plus finally make sense of it all. If you're tired of starting over, coaching is where you start different. You'll spend
Kelly, thank you so much for letting me share this video from your YouTube channel, and just thoughts on this video as well.
Yeah, funny enough. So that's actually a perfect segue. So January 7th, I'm going to have a mindset masterclass, and it's called You Don't Need Another Diet, You Need a Mindset Reset. So I feel like this is exactly right. Like, we all do this, right? You know, okay, Monday, there's this new diet. There's keto, there's, whatever, whole food diet, paleo, whatever. This is going to be the thing that's going to work for me. And it does. And then it doesn't, right? Because as you said, you go right habits and that kind of thing.
Yep.
So this is where the mindset coaching comes in, right? Is that we try and figure out if it is habits. There's usually lots of different things, but habits, we get into the nitty gritty about the habit. Like, is it a habit, or is it just a routine, or is it something else? And we figure out the why behind it. And then we kind of replace, it's a cue, it's a trigger, and then a reward. And so we try and figure out, well, what is the cue? What's the trigger and what's the reward? Let's find different ones to get that, to get a better reward that we actually want.
And for me, it's mindset. I'm aware of what I need to do, and I have done it before, but then I've gotten stressed out or decided to go back into the bad habits again as well. And losing the weight is not the hard part. I think it's maintaining it, because it's so easy from my experience, and I'm sure many others out there watching or listening to the show, into getting the bad habits. So mindset, I think, is absolutely huge with weight loss and better nutrition.
Agreed. Yep. And I feel like it's a bit of a chicken egg situation, right? You can't have one without the other.
Kelly, from your experience, what are some of the biggest reasons people have trouble losing weight and maintaining a weight loss? Obviously, mindset is number one.
Yeah, no, of course. So we won't go into that again, but yes, it is just about number one. The other thing is the types of diets that you're choosing. So, like there's juice cleanses. There's back in the day, somebody mentioned this the other day about maybe Chris, you'll remember the cabbage soup Oprah diet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So all those things where you're starving. So how can you possibly maintain that? And then we think about other diets, right? That actually worked for not everybody, but worked for a lot of people. Let's say keto. And I am not here to debate whether, any diet is good over, like better over another. That's not the point. But something like keto, or I hate to say carnivore, because I really don't like that one, but it has the same elements of what I'm going to get to. And then Atkins diet as well. So all of those diets, what they have in common is that they are blood sugar balanced. That is the focus. So anytime you have something that's blood sugar balanced, you're able to maintain it for longer because you're not starving. Um, and that's the thing that gets most people all the time, right? And then of course there's habits and things like that, but that's, that was number one. So the type of diet would be another issue.
Kelly, I have tried this in the past, and I'm sure many others have. Chris, why don't you fast for 12 to 16 hours? And I've tried it, and I've ended up eating more food in the end from fasting.
I am so glad that you actually mentioned that. Yeah. So fasting is amazing, but not for everybody. And who it is good for are people who are, once again, blood sugar balanced. So, which is not the majority of people. So if you are not blood sugar balanced, then that is actually way worse for you. It's going to increase your cortisol. I'm sure you've heard of cortisol, your stress hormones, which is going to make you eat more, which is going to make your body prioritize keeping fat rather than losing it, and just overall stress your body, right? So, yeah, like that's not a good scenario.
Now, Kelly, your clientele is women 40 plus, but have you ever had a male,
Yes.
men? Have you worked with them too?
Yes, I absolutely have. You know what? The truth of the matter is, like I'm a woman, so I'm, attractive to other women, like because I can relate. We can relate to each other, right? But the truth is, like, yes, we have different hormones and that kind of thing, but we're all the same, essentially. I say that with a grain of salt. I absolutely do work with men, and anybody who has a hormone problem, which is the majority of us at this age, the solution is food and balancing your blood sugar. And that's how you solve the problem. So it doesn't matter what hormone is out of whack, that's the solution.
Kelly, you mentioned you had a class coming up January 7th. Can you promote that again? And how can people contact you, reach you if they're interested in being part of your virtual class January 7th?
Yeah, so it's on Instagram. If you go onto my bio there, you'll be able to register for it there. And yeah, I go into a lot more about, different mindset traps that you can. One of the biggest ones is the stories that you tell yourself. I'm not that kind of person. I said that one already, right? Like, I'm not somebody who, my body is different. I don't lose weight like other people do. Things like this. So it's the stories that you tell yourself that really are not true. So anyways, so other mindset traps like that, and you'll get takeaways as well. Something that you can put into place, that day. So yeah, so come on out and join in. I would love for people to, men or women, doesn't matter, to join in January 7th, and it'll be at 7 p.m. And on my Instagram bio, you'll see the link there.
Any plans in the future to write a book or even maybe start your own podcast at some point?
I have no plans right now, but you know what? Never say never. So.
Kelly, can you explain the term metabolic harmony again for our audience?
Yeah, sure. So it's when your metabolism, so your metabolism is just the chemistry in your body that's working together like it should. That's essentially what it is. So it means all your hormones are operating the way they should. So that means your body is getting enough nutrition to actually to produce all the hormones and to make all the connections that it needs to. So everything is operating the way it should.
How much has the internet, social media impacted your business in terms of clients and content? And how we met was through seeing your content on TikTok.
Yeah, you know what? It's huge. Yeah, I've really developed some connections over the last, like, I'd say 9 months or so. Um, I have had more people, talk to me and message me and say, in person, like, I love your videos. They're relatable, they're bite size. Oh man, I love hearing that. Because I could really, like, I could talk about nutrition and all that, like, all day long. I just love it.
I noticed with content with TikTok or even YouTube,
Mhm.
our attention spans are shrinking. So the shorter the video, the more you're going to get ratings.
Yeah, and it's so funny. I just worked with a marketer recently, and I had no idea about this every 3 second rule. You have to change something in that video every 3 seconds to keep somebody's attention. Like, man, like, it's a lot.
Kelly, as we wrap up the show with the holiday season upcoming, what are some tips or some advice for not overeating, overindulging in sweets in the Christmas season, holiday season?
Yeah, good question. So, eating enough during the day. So, don't restrict all day long and think, I'll save my calories for later, because you won't. And you will for sure overeat. I mean, you said about the intermittent fasting, same kind of deal. By the way, I tried the intermittent fasting. I did the same thing you did. I was just a license to eat a lot of chips. So, yeah, so make sure you're eating all the meals, prioritizing protein. Um, and allowing yourself to have fun and to enjoy it. Now, it may not mean every single day, but you know what? You've got the Christmas dinner coming up. Enjoy yourself, right? One day is not going to ruin things, that's for sure, right? It's just when it becomes one day, the next, the next, the next, the next, right? So just, eat enough, drink your water, sleep enough, do some, stress management, because it is stressful for a lot of people, even though it is a fun time. So, mhm.
I know I've experienced this in the past too. Sometimes you're kind of having a down day and you're kind of in the dumps, you turn to comfort foods. I guess it would be better if you're going to eat or snack, drink water, something healthy, veggies and stuff instead of going to potato chips and dip or stuff that's probably not the best for you.
Yeah, and I think, what, we all know this, but for whatever reason, we don't do that. Like, we still will go for the chips, right? So what I like to say is, try and have your snack PF&F. So, protein, fat, and fiber. Make sure, if you're going to have a snack, include all of those options. I mean, that's going to be easier for some people than others, but protein, fat, and fiber with every snack, and you'll be more full. And so, like, if you're just, and there's a lot of carbs in those chips and fat as well. So, but you might make you hungrier and hungrier and hungrier, right? A little sooner. So, protein, fat, and fiber keep yourself full.
And one thing I've learned too is you probably shouldn't be snacking on food before you go to bed. I don't know if this is true or not. They say after 8 o'clock at night, you really probably shouldn't have anything else to eat.
That is true, absolutely. It interrupts our sleep, and it's just our bodies, also, for some reason, we our bodies doesn't process extra, calories and sugar and all that kind of stuff well at night. So you're going to have more insulin in your body at night from that food. The more insulin you have, the more fat you store. If you have too much insulin, you can't lose weight. You can't have that at the same time as losing weight. So, yeah, sorry, I could go on a rant there.
No, it's okay, Kelly, and this is what I want. I was told by Buck Martinez of the Blue Jays. He's their
Hmm.
broadcaster, former ball player. He goes,
Yeah.
when you do an interview or in person, make sure that guest is a talker. There's nothing worse than having an interviewer that is you have to pull words out of their mouth. So it's always good to have guests that like to talk.
I have never been told that, to be honest. Although I will say, when it comes to nutrition, I do that. But normally, I'm not a very good talker. So, all right. So, yes, you did your job well.
Thank you. It's the guests that make a great show. I'm very lucky. As we wrap this show up, Kelly, can you just quickly explain how small, consistent habits can create meaningful changes in weight loss? Because I know I've done this in the past. I've got to lose 50, 60, 70 pounds, but you really are better off starting off with 5 pounds, 4 pounds, realistic numbers, because it's kind of daunting to say, hey, I got to lose 50 pounds in a month.
Oh my gosh, yes. Well, I mean, 50 pounds in a month, no. But yeah, no, absolutely. Week by week, that's it, because it adds up. That's for sure. And, small goals, you're able to achieve them better. And that means that you build up your trust bank. That's what I like to call it, your trust bank in yourself. So the more you're able to build your trust bank, the more next time you're going to succeed as well. You're going to go, okay, you know what? I did that last week. I can do this again. Meanwhile, before, if you're making big goals, you keep failing. And then you're like, well, yeah, sure, I'll try this goal, but I failed last week. So, of course, I'm going to fail this week. Right. So, you don't get to rely on yourself. So the little goals help you rely on yourself. And it goes a long way.
Kelly, what are some fun facts or a fun fact about yourself, Kelly Drew?
I'm a practicing snowbird. Gosh, yeah, no, I love being outside. I love doing absolutely. I mean, as long as it's warm. Yeah, I love being outside. I feel like sometimes I say I'm not human. I'm solar powered. So, yeah.
What's your favorite Christmas movie and song?
I'm not really a Christmas movie song. I can't do. I'm a Grinch one. Oh, Grinch. I like the Grinch Who Stole Christmas.
Same here, same here. That's my favorite Christmas character too.
Okay. Yep.
So, and finally, ask the host CDP a question. Do you have a question for me before we wrap this up?
Gosh, yeah, I want to ask you something, but what is it? Oh man, I don't even. I wish I knew. Wish I knew ahead of time, which I know you don't do. What would you do if you could work again? Like if you could do life over again, what would you do differently? Like what would you do for a living, or maybe like whatever?
Didn't know what I wanted to do when I was younger. I did okay in school, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. And then I'm like, okay, I like law and security. So I took law and security at Mohawk College, and then I did corporate security for 2 decades. But I've always liked broadcasting. They didn't have this technology back out in the 80s and 90s. So I would have probably gone into broadcasting earlier, but I'm trying to prove to the radio and media industry, and I get this a lot too. Age is just a number. I might be 53, but just because you're older in life doesn't make you a liability. I think life experiences and life skills are just as valuable. And don't get me wrong, education is important in the classroom, but education is lifelong. It's not just in a classroom. So I just want to prove to people age is 2, 3, 4 different careers. And I do speak at local high schools in this area now about the importance of education and also finding your passion. And you don't have to pick one career when you're a teenager and stick with it. And I like to share my life story as well, starting over 6 years ago and doing this. And what I love about this show is the storytelling part and the learning aspect. And there's been times where I haven't felt 100%, but soon as I get on the show talking to my guest or guests on camera, my adrenaline kicks in, and this is what I really like doing. I have a passion for this, and I want people to enjoy my shows. And there's so much doom and gloom out there with the news and stuff. I want people to have a half an hour or an hour where they can actually watch a good storytelling episode and learn something from the guests and myself as well.
Yeah, I love that. That's awesome.
Thank you, Kelly. And it's the guests that make a great show. I'm just very fortunate. And I joined TikTok 5 years ago, and I was reluctant to do it because I thought I was too old for it. TikTok's for high school kids and stuff like that. And 5 years later, I've learned how to create content like yourself and also connect with a number of guests from TikTok as well.
Agreed. I joined 8 months ago because my marketer said you need to, and it's actually like probably one of my better platforms. So, yep.
And that's how we met. And finally, Kelly, where can our audience follow you on social media, your website, and the best way of contacting you?
Yeah, excellent. So I'm on Instagram at Simply Feel Well. I'm on TikTok at Simply Feel Well 11. And YouTube, I'm there, Kelly Drew at Simply Feel Well. And then I have my website, simplyfeelwell.com. And you can contact me through any of those platforms.
Well, Kelly, well, thank you so much. And I will definitely keep in touch with you because I am in a process of just even right now, just trying to lose 1 pound and maybe 2 pounds, just a little bit at a time. I want to do this because I want to do it for myself. I want to feel better for myself. And our bodies are like a car. And if you neglect it over time, eventually you'll end up paying for it. So I want to just try to do this for myself. I want better sleep, better nutrition, and I just want to have more energy too.
I love that. Yeah, good for you. Yep, I'm here for you.
Thank you so much, Kelly. Give me a little bit of time tonight, and I will send you the full video, the audio, and I will edit the video into reels and clips for people who have short attention spans that can only watch maybe 30 seconds of our show as well.
Sounds good. That's great. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kelly. Continued success, and we got to do this. I do that with all my guests now. It's a little ticker, a little thing on StreamYard. So I'm still constantly learning with technology every single day. But thank you so much, Kelly. Continued success in your nursing career and as a nutrition coach, and we'll definitely keep in touch.
Great. Thank you so much.
Happy holidays, and wishing you and your family a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year as well.
Oh, thank you. And to you as well.
Thank you so much, Kelly. Have a great evening, and we'll be in touch soon.
Sounds good. Take care.
All right, everyone, that wraps up season 12, episode 28, overall 633 of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, brought to you by BarryCullen.com. I love these little gadgets I got on here. But as we wrap up the show, guys, you can contact Kelly Drew. Her email address is kellydrewcoach@gmail.com, or you can call her at 905-407-3154, or you can check out her website at simplyfeelwell.com. Simplyfeelwell.com. So I want to say thank you so much to Kelly Drew for coming on here. And I have another special announcement to make. The next Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, sponsored and brought to you by BarryCullen.com, is going to take place on Monday, December 15th at 5 p.m. Eastern with my special guest, Dr. Psyche Young. That's her name, Dr. Psyche Young. She's a licensed psychotherapist and consultant out of Philadelphia. So Dr. Psyche Young will be on my show this Monday, December 15th at 5 p.m. And I have 4 more guests and 4 more shows next week as well. So please make sure you check out my upcoming shows. But the next episode, again, Monday, December 15th, 5 p.m. Eastern, with guest Dr. Psyche Young, a licensed psychotherapist, I can say the word, and consultant, and I met her through TikTok as well. Please check out her content as well. And as we wrap up this show, guys, again, you can follow Kelly Drew on the social media platforms, metabolicbalance.ca. She's also on Instagram, and I believe she's on Linktree and TikTok as well. I have them all on the little graphics there as well. And as we wrap up this show, guys, get up to $120 in instant savings on GM generating parts, brake pads, and rotors, and a no-charge, that's right, a no-charge brake inspection at Barry Cullen Chevrolet dealership, located at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Auto Mall. There's a 30-day as well. So Barry Cullen Chevrolet dealership is the official sponsor and advertiser on Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show. And if you're also looking for winter tires, winter's here. The cold temps are here, the snow here. Check out Barry Cullen Chevrolet dealership, their service department for winter tires. And I would contact Greg Smith, who's a service consultant. Greg has great customer service skills and knows the products as well. So if you're looking for winter tires, hit up Greg Smith at Barry Cullen Chevrolet dealership's service department. With Christmas and the holiday season here, what a better way of doing a treat for yourself. A personalized video message from yours truly, CDP, cameo.com, and type in Chris Palme. I do Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Anniversary, Happy Birthday. If you want to talk to me about my media work, favorite stories I've done, covering the Toronto Argonauts, the Buffalo Bisons, the Buffalo Bandits of the National Lacrosse League, hit me up on cameo.com and type in Chris Palme. I look forward to doing your request today. You can follow me on Blue Sky Social at Live with CDP19 on Blue Sky Social. Cambridge District Okay, I'm going to reword this again. If you're looking to adopt a pet, check out the Cambridge District Humane Society at 1650 Dunbar Road in Cambridge, Ontario. Telephone number 519-623-7722, extension 0. And their website is cambridgehumanesociety.org. All the animals that are up for adoption, their profiles and information are on there as well. And I want to say... I got to spend some time with one of the dogs that have been down there at 6 months. Pebbles, who's a 1.5-year-old female bulldog mixed, has been adopted, and I'm wishing Pebbles all the best with her new family and home as well. So if you're looking to adopt a pet, check out the Cambridge District Humane Society. Adopt, don't shop. You can't buy happiness, but you can adopt it, and they do a great job there down at the Cambridge District Humane Society as well. I'm going to miss Pebbles. I love Pebbles, but their object is to get them into good homes, and I'm so happy for Pebbles as well. Speaking of Cambridge District Humane Society, I want to say thank you to everyone for buying a calendar. I sold 40 calendars. 2026 Cambridge District Humane Society calendars, and I sold 40 and raised $400 today. So a shout out to Zach Waddington from the Cambridge District Humane Society. You can check out my photo with him and Zach, and it was nice to bring in a little bit of money for the Cambridge Humane Society before Christmas. So thank you to those who bought calendars, and to Cipriana's Pizzeria, who helped sell 10 calendars, and to Artline Salon on 12 Rock Avenue in Kitchener, Ontario, for buying 5 calendars as well. So really appreciate your support. So again, if you're looking to adopt a pet, check out the Cambridge District Humane Society, and also their website, cambridgehumanesociety.org. You can see their Amazon wish list. So if you're able to help out with their Amazon wish list, that would be great as well. And if you have dog and pet food, cat litter, paper towels, garbage bags, paper towels, or bedding and stuff like that, please consider the Cambridge District Humane Society. They do a great job down there as well. Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, again, is live streamed on these platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, X, Twitch, now available on Instagram. I am currently working on getting this show live streamed through StreamYard, through TikTok. So hopefully this show will be on TikTok very soon. You can check out my website at beacons.ai/Chris D. Palme. Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, again, is brought to you by Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership. Check out their website, barrycullen.com. You can follow this content creator, which is how I met Kelly Drew, on TikTok at Chris Palme. Check out my latest content there, and I will have some reels and clips from our show tonight on TikTok. So at Chris Palme, and thank you to my 1,392 followers on TikTok. StreamYard is the official live stream provider of Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show. If you're into webinars or live streaming and podcasting, check out StreamYard.com. They have basic free plans, and if you're a business that does a lot of webinars or live streaming, go to StreamYard.com and contact their sales department for pricing as well. And finally, as we wrap up this show, guys, Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, the audio version is on iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Spotify for podcasters, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Spotify, Castbox, LinkedIn, Pandora, TuneIn, YouTube Music, and Good Pods. And finally, guys, you can email the show, Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, at cpalme19@gmail.com. Finally, you can follow me on Facebook, Threads, Twitter, X, Instagram, LinkedIn, Blue Sky Social, everywhere except Snapchat. And remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Chris Palme Live with CDP Talk Show as well. And I am on PayPal. Chris Palme on PayPal, cpalme19@gmail.com. If you'd like to contribute to my YouTube channel and my talk shows, you can PayPal me through cpalme19@gmail.com. gmail.com. And again, I want to say thank you to my guest tonight, Kelly Drew, a registered nurse, certified nutritional practitioner, and certified health mindset coach, for coming on here tonight as well. And I want to say thank you to everyone for watching the show as well. Brought to you by Barry Cullen Chevrolet here in Guelph. And again, my next show is going to be Monday, December 15th, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 on the West Coast, with guest Dr. Psyche Young, a licensed psychotherapist and consultant. And the Philadelphia Eagles were back in action Sunday, December 14th, 1 o'clock, Lincoln Financial Field. The Las Vegas Raiders and Kenny Pickett take on Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are 8-5, have lost 3 in a row, so this is a huge game. I've got the Eagles winning this game 27-17. Eagles 27, Raiders 17. I hope everybody has a great night. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you back here Monday at 5 o'clock for Live with CDP Sports and Entertainment Talk Show, hosted by Chris Pomey, brought to you by Barry Cullen Chevrolet here in Guelph. Thank you, everyone, for watching and listening to this show. Have a great weekend, everybody.